Hey everybody, it is that time of the year once again for my winter outlook. I've spent weeks kind of looking over information, finding years that are very similar to this, what we call analog years, crunching numbers. So it's that time once again for my 2022-2023 winter outlook. We're going to start by looking at a few things that I looked at. Snow cover. This is important because if you have a lot of snowpack to the north of this area, when air masses come down over that snowpack, they tend to not modify, meaning colder temperatures are possible here. So I pay attention to the snowpack. Ocean temperatures, the sea surface temperatures, very important to us right now. See this area right here? This is called La Nina, and we're in the third La Nina in a row, which is important. I also look way out here into the Indian Ocean for different types of oscillations there. We look into the Pacific. It's interesting that this area has started to cool up here near the Gulf of Alaska. That's something that I factored into the winter outlook. And of course, the Gulf of Mexico and along the eastern seaboard as well. 70% of the entire world is covered by water, so it's important to see what the sea surface temperatures look like when you do a long-term forecast. Right here, this is the La Nina that we're talking about, and this is the third year in a row that we've had a La Nina. Here's the basic idea of what happens with a La Nina. With the air currents flowing this way, it's kind of pushing some of this warmer sea surface temperature water away, and when that happens, we tend to see some of the colder water kind of upwelling underneath of that, and that can actually change the pattern, the way the air flows across and the jet stream works across the United States. And for us, typically, we get some colder shots with some wet weather here during La Nina winter. So that's something we think about. And it's interesting this year. This is the third year in a row we've had a La Nina. It's very rare. In the last 60 years, this has only happened two other times, 75, 76, and 2000 and 2001. And here's how those winters turned out. A large portion of the country was colder than normal, and here locally, a little bit drier than normal. That also was a factor that I looked at. So here we go with the winter outlook. First of all, I think a colder December than we've seen for the last 4 Decembers, so a little faster start to winter than what we've had in the past. I think this winter is going to be colder than last winter. Last winter was a little bit warmer than normal. More snow this year than what we had last winter. As a matter of fact, I think this could be one of the more snowy winters we've seen in the last, get this, 8 years. So a little bit more like a typical winter here in the valley. The first 2 inches of snow or greater, though, I don't think will happen until after December the 12th. I think the very first part of December, probably not real winter-like, but I think we could get into a more winter pattern there after we get in after about the first week. I don't think a white Christmas this year. We have not had one here since the year of 2010. Believe it or not, it's been a long time, but I don't think the pattern is going to be good for that this year. Large temperature swings again this year, meaning 60 degrees or greater from the highest temperature to the lowest temperature, so a lot of variation with our temperatures. More warm days and cold days. I think when we're all done and we go back and look, we'll have a lot of days where it was warmer than normal, but the cold days could be quite cold when they happen. Several clipper systems. These are the systems that clip in from the north, come across this area, and they can provide some snow and some wind when they move through the area. At least 2 record or near record high temperatures. When I looked at the analog years, I didn't see a strong correlation to record cold. I saw a strong correlation to some record highs. So a couple times we'll probably see some record high temperatures. An increased chance of ice this year, but the odds of seeing a big ice storm look pretty low to me, but we could see a few of these small ice events causing travel troubles. Most active part of the winter, I think, will come in the second half of the winter. I think the jet stream pattern is going to be more active in the second half of the winter. Coldest part of the winter, I also think, will be in the second half of the winter when things get a bit more active. Near normal sub-zero days. We average about 3.5 times that we would go below normal, 3 or 4 times a winter. I'm forecasting between 3 and 5 times that we'll see the temperatures here drop below zero. Less windy days than last winter. We had a lot of wind last winter. I do not think that's a pattern this year. Less windy days this year than last. The only month I saw a strong correlation to temperature when I did the analogs was January, and I do believe January will be below normal in temperatures. I didn't get a good strong feel for December or Feb, but January looks to be cold. Could be the coldest winter we've seen in 8 years, going back to 2014, 2015. So again, you're kind of seeing the idea here, colder and more snow than we've seen in recent years. Last year, I did some videos on what I called high impact storms, storms that had a high impact on this area. I think there'll be a few of those. That could be severe weather, or it could also be snowstorms. We'll have to keep an eye on that. I think the heaviest snow will fall in the second half of the winter, again when it becomes more active across this area. And I think also we'll have at least one severe weather outbreak. We had one of those last year on December the 10th. I think we've got another one in our future this winter. A cool start to March, but I think we'll come out of that fairly quick after that, and some snow in early March. But I think March will warm up faster than some of the March weather we've had in the past. So temperatures for the winter, I'm predicting below normal by about a degree. You can see there, so a little colder than normal. Precipitation, this is melted snow and rain. I'm forecasting down here to be a little bit below normal, and snowfall I'm forecasting to be near normal. Normal is about 14.8 inches. I'm forecasting 14.5, so near normal on snowfall here in the valley. You can find the complete outlook with all of the charts and graphs at mywabashvalley.com, and of course also at our sponsor locations we will have some brochures and also some ice scrapers while they last, so go out, check out the sponsors, and pick up the outlook as well.